Hello everybody, my name is Cammie and I'm with Southern Comfort Homestead, and I haven't made a video or videos like I usually do. Got plenty of videos out there, but I want to talk about what I've been going through literally for about 2 years and not saying anything about it. The cat kind of leaked out of the bag, and I thought, well, by now I have been able to process some things. I've been able to come to some conclusions. I've gone through a lot, and now I'm able to talk about it. I feel like I should talk about it for the fact that maybe somewhere this video will reach somebody and help somebody with just a few things I'm going to talk about. So we're talking about 2 years of what I've been going through. So to talk about 2 years will take a good long time for everything I've gone through. So I'm hopefully that I'll be able to explain this to help at least just one person. So what I've been dealing with was early stages of breast cancer. Now we know that we can get super busy onto a homestead, your garden, your raised beds, or whatever you're dealing with, work. All that is work. And so you can get super busy, you can get lost in time. If you're building your focus, you're determined, and your goal planning winning is taking place. And so last summer, because I have been going through remodeling, I've been moving a homestead. If you've ever moved a homestead, it's not all that easy. It's really hard because not only are you moving what you've already built up, you're building to put that stuff there. You run into all kinds of things if you're remodeling. What turns out to be looking simple ends up being more than what you ever planned on, and time just elapsed. So last summer I said, well, how long has it been since I've had a mammogram? And I started thinking about it because I've been super busy. And so, a year and a half, oh, that's not bad, because see, I have been going through mammograms for years, try to get one at least every year or so. And so I went ahead and made an appointment. But first I said, well, I've always been okay. Never had any problems. I didn't take breast cancer seriously. And I took and decided, well, I'll go one more time. There was, my cat's on my back. There's that one more time. And I said, well, I'll go one more time. And then I must not went. And I said, well, I'll go one more time. And there was something on the inside of me saying I need to have this mammogram. And that's why I said, well, I'll go one more time. And that was actually God putting it in my spirit. I did not have a lump. It was an early stage of breast cancer. And so, but on the inside, it was telling me I had this going on. And I just knew. So I went for this appointment. The machine broke down, and then I had to wait for that appointment. Well, first of all, on the way back up, I called the doctor because you got to get a referral. And 2 months went by, and I called them. I said, well, I haven't got my referral yet. And then you got to wait for your appointment. It's 2 months. The machine breaks down. I said, Lord, have mercy. So then I went in. They called me back in and said they wanted to do a mammogram on one side, and I knew right then something wasn't right. So I went in, and I went in with my granddaughter because I didn't want to miss this appointment, and I was keeping her at the moment. And so then I went in. They called me back, and they told me, I had some issues going on. Well, then the ball started rolling. They told me I had the early stage of breast cancer, and for my daughter, it was kind of devastating because the ball started rolling. You didn't have time to process it. You didn't have time to even find your emotions. You're in your emotions, but you're like, okay, but then the ball is rolling. When I say the ball is rolling, it's this doctor's appointment, that doctor's appointment, this doctor's appointment. They want you to go over here. You got to have an ultrasound. You got to have blood work. You're just rolling with it. You got to go to a radiologist. You got to go to the oncologist. You're just rolling with it. And you don't have time to even process your emotions or get through it, or maybe just say, well, this is not as bad as it could be. And so you're going with it. And when you're rolling with it, you're not able to process this emotions, which really makes it a lot harder. So what happened? I had early stage of breast cancer. And then I did do the blood work, which is not genetic. My past relatives didn't have it. Nobody in my family had it. So, and we did this blood work, so it's not going to be passed to my daughter. So that was very relieving to find that out. And that was relieving for her to find that out. And what I did find out, a lot of young women, not my age, 22, are going through what I've been going through. Or even worse, they are being diagnosed with stage 4 at such an early young age, which makes you wonder what is triggering this. That's too unusual. There's too many women having this issue going on. And even with Homestead women, you know, they get busy and they put it off. And time they find out that they got it, it's too late. And so I'm encouraging everybody, don't wait till it's too late. Stay up with those mammograms, because there's 2 things that saved my life. The mammogram and God. God saved my life. First of all, God saved my life, because Cammie wasn't going to go. Cammie was like, you know, I'm busy. I've been fine. You know, because I didn't take it very seriously. You think it's never going to happen to you for some reason. We always think it's somebody else. We don't have to deal with it personally, so we don't understand it personally. And so, so I found out I had this, and so I started rolling with this ball, and it was very hard. Next thing I know, they wanted me to go in for another mammogram. Well, the machine breaks down, and you know, time is rolling on. I'm thinking, God, my God, people will die before they even get any help. Now we're talking about 6 months has done past. I have no clue really where I'm totally standing at. And then, you know, going to the doctors, and then I have to have I have to do this one particular type test, and before I have surgery, I get this call. And it was, it's like you go in this trailer and they do this CAT scan. That's what it was. I believe it was CAT scan. And I have to do this certain type of test before I go into the surgery to get a good picture of what's going on. And I'm like a week before surgery, and they call me and said, the machine's broke down. I called my daughter. My daughter says, well, can't they get him another machine? I called the doctor's office, and I was like, they're telling me that the machine's broke down. And so he calls it in. He gets a truck in and gets that trailer in for me to have this test before surgery. So I went into surgery, and dealing with 2 doctors, and one just went over everything. He was super great. It was very traumatic. It was hard. It was a good thing that I found out early, and it's a good thing I proceeded forth with this and not just throw it to the side. And trying to think what all went on. There's so much that happened. And and another doctor did, you know, there's one doctor comes in and they take the tissue all out, and then another doctor comes in and does the second procedure. So you're looking at probably like a 4-hour surgery, at least 4 or 5 hour surgery. And but I came out deformed, which means that I was going to have to, you know, and I kind of knew that to a degree, to a certain extent, a possibility this or possibility that. But it was not good at all, which means that it pushed me to a place to talk to him. He says, well, come back in 6 months. You know, you're going to go through your healing process, and we'll talk about it then. We'll do something then. I go in for the doctor's appointment, 6 months. He says, well, wait till January. Well, I'm telling you, when a woman's going through this, she's not want to hear that. She wants a solution. She wants to get past this. She don't want to deal with this every day and give her answers. And so I wasn't getting the answers. I went to the other doctor. He says, well, he won't listen to you. I'm going to refer you to somebody else. So my insurance wouldn't take that place, or that place wouldn't take my insurance, and which was kind of good because it was a 4-hour trip one way. Now looking back at it, I've just been going back and forth, 4-hour one way. And so it really, that turned out good. So sometimes things we go through, we don't understand, but it's working for our good. And that's what the scripture says. Therefore, we know that all things will work together for the good, which is called according to his purpose. So God purposed me to go in to have this mammogram. And now we're into another year, this year coming up, 2024. And so I'm going through these doctors and stuff, and then I'm heading into surgery again. And yeah, anytime you have surgery, there's a chance of infection, there's a chance of complications, there's always that chance. But once again, you think it's never going to be you, right? So anyways, I went in and I was doing really good. Everything was doing good. I'm at my almost 6-week mark, because I started out, I got through 1 week. And the first surgery wasn't bad. Now I'm talking about the second surgery. This first surgery wasn't bad. You thought it would be worse, but the second surgery was actually worse. And every surgery I've had has gotten worse and worse as far as dealing with it. It's been harder. And I think it's getting to where my body is saying, I can't really deal with this. It's taking on too much shock, too much trauma. So I'm doing really good, and I'm getting at this 6-week mark. And once again, the weeks I will count them, because I'm just ready to get past this. When you're going through this, you just want to get it done. You want to get over it. You just want to get past this, move on. And sometimes it doesn't happen like that, and that's where the traumatic emotional problems come in, because you're dealing with it and you're not getting past it. And people can come up with all their speculations, you should do this. You're not going through this, so you have no clue what it's like until you go through it. And that's what the bad part about breast cancer. Everybody's different, and you can't say XYZ, because you don't know the XYZ. All you got to do is roll through it and come out good on the other side. So I'm counting 1 week, okay, 2 weeks, okay, 3 weeks. I'm just like, 4 weeks. I'm hitting around 5 weeks. And I'm not really seeing myself healing. My body's not feeling the best. And I even tell my daughter, fixing to hit the 6 weeks mark, I said, I'm not, because I'm thinking 6 to 8 weeks you should be healed, right? And I'm saying, my body's not feeling like it's doing, it's not, I don't feel like I'm healing like I should be. I'm not healing fast enough. And she says it takes 6 to 8 weeks, and she works in the medical field, and so she knows all about this. And I'm saying, well, it's been almost 6 weeks, Turning into week 6, I start feeling really bad. I mean bad. Every day I would get worse, and it looked like I had an infection. I was red. First of all, started at the beginning of this surgery, what they call red breast. And he said they don't know what causes it, but it's just red. It gradually did go away, but then suddenly my breast started getting red. I had heat. I was hurting, and I did not feel good at all. And every day was getting worse. And my daughter said, do you think you got COVID? And I said, no, I just knew. I didn't have COVID. Something was wrong. So next thing I know, a couple of days later, I'm driving myself to Medic. Medic sends me to the ER. They're saying I had an infection. I called the doctor. He says, whatever's been done. I had a doctor's appointment the next day. He says, just leave the hospital, because I called him because I didn't want them to undo anything. I don't want to deal with different doctors, and because I do know doctors have made mistakes. I've had doctors predict things that's not even right. I've caught them in things, and as far as you just got to do your own research. And I've got that's why second opinions are good. You want a second opinion. That's why I went to end up with this doctor, because I needed that second opinion. I'm not playing with this. So I started feeling bad, and it wasn't good. I started having a oozing and a fluid, and I was feeling terrible. The incision was opening up. It wasn't healing. And so he told me, he says, well, we got to do surgery. And well, first of all, he says, well, let's wait a week and see how it does. No, it does. No, that's the next surgery. So I've been through a lot of surgery. he says, we got to do surgery. I said, well, let's do it quick as possible. Let's get this over with. And so instantly things were set up. I'm back in there. He said I didn't have an infection. When I looked at my chart said I had an infection. And I've been on a lot of antibiotics. This last surgery, they didn't put me on antibiotics because they said I've been on too much antibiotics in case I needed antibiotics, and he gave me antibiotics while I was in surgery. So everything's rolling again. Week 1, week 2, week 3. No, I'm week 3. And then on the other side, it started going south. 2 weeks later, I'm back into surgery again. And every time surgery's worse and worse. It's harder to deal with. I think my body's just traumatized. And then I'm going through week 2, and then suddenly what happened on to the left, that it was very painful. That medic said that I had infection. My research says I had infection. The doctor said I didn't have an infection. So, but then when I look at my chart, it said I had infection. So, yeah, when you get an infection, your body feels it's in your body, and you feel really bad because it's making you sick. And it's not good because it spreads too far. It can get into your organs, and it can literally push to a point it can kill you. Well, then I end up having like a staph infection. So I'm healing from this other side, and I end up with a staph infection. She calls me, says, well, we're going to put you on antibiotics. And I already had a culture. Never been informed of culture. Doctor's visit for that. I said, what was my test? And she says, well, it hasn't came in. It could be in for weeks. My daughter says that's not even true. So anyways, I started once again feeling bad, and she says, we're going to change your antibiotics. Bear with me because it's a lot. And I instantly knew because I did my research, and I knew when she said that she said, we're going to put you on such and such, and I knew. And I said, what was my test results? And she said, blah, 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 blah. And so that's what I thought it was, right? But into my chart, it didn't even say that. It wasn't even logged in. So going on to those antibiotics helped out, but things just still turned south. Long story short, I ended back into surgery. I've had 3 surgeries in 2 months. I kept continuing on with life. I'm a go-getter. I'm not. When you keep yourself busy doing little things or whatever, as much as you can or whatever, it keeps your mind stable. You're not wallowing into your mess, but you're getting a message from God to share with other people while you're going through. When you're going through the fire, it won't burn you up. When you're going through the waters, it's not going to drown you. But you feel like you're going through, and you feel like at times you could drown or you could be burned up. But if you keep yourself busy, preoccupied, it's good mentally for what you're going through, and not just laying into the bed and laying on the couch and watching TV and woe is me. You got to trust God. You got to trust God that God is carrying you through the situation, through the storm. You got to trust Him that He knows. He knew it all, but from the get-go, and you have to trust Him. And it can be hard at times to wonder, why me? Why do I have to go through this? When I went to the oncologist, I had to walk in that building, Zimmer's building, the cancer building. You talking about a weird feeling. It was hard. Walking in there by yourself, and your emotions are like, I can't believe this is happening. And I don't care what stage you're at, it's emotional. And I felt like I didn't have a right to cry because most women don't find out until they're in stage 4. It's too late. I had options. And so I had options of which directions I could take in this. So I could have took one direction, and I still had to take I had to go to radiologist. Radiation, And I opt out of that. Radiation kills your body. It's not good for your body to go through that. And then, once again, I did my research, and I knew if that cancer came back, it could go back aggressively. By the time I found out, it's really too late. And I thank God for my daughter, because she said, no, you're not doing that. You're not going through radiology. This is what you're going to do. And, or she didn't tell me that this is what direction you need to go into, is what she was saying. And I agree with her, I thank God for her, because, yeah, you're just like, oh my God, I'm fixing to head into, to have radiology. I didn't have to have chemo, thank God. But still, the emotion side there is there, because things are rolling so fast. You don't have time to get through those emotions. And then when you sit back, you're just like, oh my God. And it really is hard. So I went through all these surgeries to get better. Wasn't planning on it. If I feel like, to begin with, if the first doctor had not did it the way he did it, and did it the way this third doctor did, my body would have been healed up enough. It could have took it. It could have took it. And I feel that on the inside. So what didn't happen? Well, what didn't happen is, I didn't die. Things didn't go as I planned on going. So that, I planned on, having the surgery and then having a couple little things to help me out on that. Maybe you might have to have some fat graft. You might have to have some stitches to hold things right, because your tissue is gone. And so that tissue is very important to the body. That's why God created it. And so you're dealing with skin now. And so I knew that. But if he did it this other way, and even into when I went to this third doctor, he says, did you have XYZ? And I was like, no. He says, well, they had listened, you did. And I like, I didn't. He said, I didn't have to do that because I've already had this done. And so what it was what they call it, expanders, with the skin and stuff, and the muscles and whatever, the skin. And so it seems like they just took the easiest route at begin with. Sometimes going in life, the easiest route is not the best route. And a lot of times people are trying to pick the easiest route. And this easiest route ended up turning out to be the wrong route for me. Or it's going to turn out to be a bad route. And what route will I go in the future? I don't know yet, because I'm processing. Now I have time to process. So I'm healing up now. I've had my, I think it's called PDs, my fluid tubes that collects the fluid out of me, it collects the fluid out of you, taken out last week. And that keeps you from getting infection. It collects that fluid, your body, from the surgery. And it starts out looking red with blood and stuff, and then it turns pinkish. And they came out last week. And tomorrow I'm supposed to get my staples out. That was another thing, because I started out with stitches, and then when I looked at my incisions, I had staples. And I was very shocked, because no one told me I was going to be having staples. That was to help hold me together. More so because I've had, mind you, that was my third surgery, actually 4 surgeries in 1 year and 4 months. So my body is really just not really taking it that good at this point in time. They call it thin skin. As you get older, they call it thin skin. That's what the doctor said. Well, if you had so many surgeries, your skin's going to get thinner and thinner, and that's just the way it is. It's been cut. And so it's really not good. What should have happened? Well, once again, it should have been gone in there with the first surgery, take care of it. Might have to do this or that or other according to your situation, and you're going through this healing time. And by the time this and that and the others take place, your year has gone by, so your body's had a chance to heal for a year, and then you go through XYZ, or this and that and the other, possibility, and then you're on your way to healing and you're moving past the cancer. That's the way it should have took place. What I wanted to happen, that's what I wanted to happen. And I was really looking forward to not this surgery, surgery for last, or the surgery for that one, because I was at my 6-week mark, and right near it. And all I could think, okay, 8 weeks. I'm not focused on 6 weeks. I'm focused on 8 weeks. And 8 weeks, I'm back in the surgery. Actually before 6, for that, 7 weeks, I'm back in the surgery. So it was really crazy going through and trying to keep up with all this and trying to get healed. If you watch my videos, you notice that I'm doing this or that. That mentally held me together, or helps me, because I am a gardener. I've been doing this my whole entire life. Watching these babies grow. Now, these were planted before. And really, this is how I looked at it. People should be rested. Doctor even told me not to move, right? And I started thinking, if I'm going back into surgery, what difference does it make now? I got to get some stuff done. And thank God, because if I didn't, this greenhouse would just been bare. You got to listen to what God is speaking to you on the inside, especially for such a time as this, in this lifetime, with all the trouble that's going on in this world. We have to listen to what God is speaking. And, oh, that's my cat. He's trying to take down my camera. Stop. Stop. Don't even try it. Stop. He's a little hard-headed. So, you got to listen. And, I did buy a tiller for my garden. I was looking forward to that. I was looking forward to a lot of things, fencing, a lot of different things that were supposed to be taking place right now. And it's not happening. When you're doing this by yourself, you have to be determined. You have to be dedicated. This has got to be something that's on the inside of you. This has got to be who you are. Because if it's not who you are, then you're going to falter, because this is not easy. And it's not easy. This greenhouse, it wasn't easy. It took me 2 years to finish it, but I got it done. And finding people to help you at this days and time, it's just, people have lost their values. They've lost the way God has built them, because they're raised a certain ways. They're raised easy. They're raised in this microwave generation. They're just easy peasy. With us, for the future, these are the ones that are going to be in trouble. These are the ones that are going to be coming, can you give me something? These are the ones that are going to want help. Well, at such a time as this, they don't want to help. They really mess you over, because they're too lazy to do it themselves. They don't have enough unction, or they're with the wrong person. This is and somebody better get on board. So what I wanted to happen didn't happen, but trusting God and standing with God on this, and my daughter helping me, being there, and it's hard. She might be my daughter, but it's hard to ask her when she's got a baby and she's got another child and she's trying to work. I got to go back into surgery. It's not all that easy, because, be honest with you, eventually this can be draining onto the whole entire family. It starts to be draining. And you have to put your faith and your trust and your hope and your praise and your thankfulness into God, because if you don't, you're just gonna wallow and you're gonna cry, and it's just, I'm not saying it's good, it's healthy to cry, it's healthy to shed those tears, it's healthy, because God has given us emotions, and if we don't share those emotions, then we're not human. Staying busy doing little things, watching this baby here grow. This seed was given to me by a follower, a subscriber. He just informed me these are broccoli. I've never seen broccoli like this. I'm thankful. I can harvest before the head of the broccoli, and it's new. And God is always doing something new into our life, and we have to trust Him on the journey that we're in, even though we don't like the journey. I've got my list of things right now because and I've hired people, try to hire people. They end up faltering out because people are into themselves, and so a lot of things are just not going to take place. I'm not sitting around wallowing in it. It's a shame. It can make you angry when you're so close and people just, they don't care anymore. Unless tragedy happens, like at the mountains in Appalachia, and and that hurricane went through there and that devastation, or the Twin Towers, people finally act like they're human. They start acting like they got some character. God has given us character. We are to be building character daily. No matter what storm you're going through, build that character. Build that character. Plants help you build character because it takes patience to grow this. So I thank God for the subscriber that sent me this seeds and taught me something. They taught me something about corn last year. So it's good for us to keep our heart and our mind open and learn daily and take help from others and be willing to help somebody else in their time of need. So all the pros and cons. Well, I can probably go on that. The pro is that I'm getting through this. The pro is that I did go through that mammogram. The pro is that I'm not liking where I'm at right now. That's the con. But the pro is I'm not where I could be. So, I'm into a place of kind of isolation, which is not a good place. But sometimes sometimes isolation is good. Because when people find out you got this, they don't know how to deal with it. Mind you that you're dealing with this and they don't know how to deal with it. People can't even look at you in your eyes because they don't know how to deal with it. And we've got to learn how to deal with things in life. We got to learn how to help other people. We got to learn how to treat people like they're normal. And so that's the con side is that people find out they can't look you in your eyes. It's amazing to me because I'm the one going through this, right? So I'm the one going through this. But it's kind of like, I guess they don't know what to say and they don't want to I guess they're trying not to draw attention to you, but it is what it is. So, so when you're going through this, there's different options. There's different treatments, and you can go through chemo, you can go through radiation, radiation. You can go mastectomy, you can go mastectomy or something like that. And there's different options that you go through, and you have to get still and do your research and make a decision what is best for your life to where you're at. And that's what I did. Now, moving forward. Went to the doctor last week, going tomorrow. They took my drain tubes out. And I was thankful because those drain tubes make me feel bad. And longer they're in, they're like a foreign object, and I start feeling really bad. My body starts rejecting them, and the day of getting them, the day before, I was like, oh my God, and the day he says he's going to take them out, I said, thank you, because I do not feel good. It's horrible, not counting you're trying to keep them from getting, they start getting irritated or infected, and they're like these two balls. They're outside your body. They're just hanging with you, going wherever you go, and you got to keep suck them out and get that fluid out, and you got to log it in. But it makes me feel so bad. And as soon as they take them out, and as soon as I get in my car, I instantly start feeling better. I've had these drain tubes 4 times. And I know what I'm talking about with them. So when they tell me they're putting drain tubes back in, I'm just want to cry because of how it makes me feel. But I know it's best for my body. This is what I got to go through. That's the journey, the road I'm on at the moment. So he took the drain tubes out and said, next week we'll take the staples out. Last 2 days I I got my grandson to help me mow and, you know, and a few things. He accidentally mowed the neighbor's yard, and that cut me short on. And they just sit out, the neighbors just sit on the porch and watch him. And I'm just like, and I knew something was taking too long, and I almost went and figured out what was taking so long. But then I seen him, and I was like, okay, you know, maybe he was doing whatever, you know. And I mean, he's 15, and so he mowed the neighbors, which cut me short on things I needed to get while he was here. Not just only just that, but to visit with him, to spend time with him, but get some things, because I have not been able to lift things up. My limit has been 5 to 10 pounds. And so I'm going to end this video shortly because my battery's fixed to die. But 5 to 10 pounds. And so I've not been pushing it. And so the doctor said, and I've got staples. When you've gone through this 4 times, it's hard. It's hard. I can't even express how hard it is. I thank God that God has made me the strong woman that I am. I had gone through so many storms and trials and tribulations and situations, but it's made me strong for such a time as this. And so the doctor said 12 weeks. 12 weeks it's 11 weeks now. 11 weeks I'll be back in the surgery. Then I'll go through this process again. I'll go through those drain tubes again. Then I'll go through that process, and however that works out, they'll probably talk to me about that tomorrow. And then I don't know how long that's gonna, when I go for my next one. I mean, I might be 6 months past that. All I can see is the whole year going by. People, get your mammogram. Stay up on your health. Don't let everything else be so important that you forget about yourself, because I'm bad about that. I'll put people ahead of me, I put things ahead of me, and I forget about myself because I am the leader here. And sometimes leaders have a tendency to forget their self while they're doing or helping other people, while other people are not helping them. Crazy world we live into. So I don't know how it's going to work out, but this is where I'm at, and this is what I've been going through. And so what I do now is that if I come out here, the soakers have helped. I put those in before I had surgery. The soakers have helped me out of keeping this water. It's been a breeze. I've had them for 3 years. Or actually, these are old soakers. I had them years ago. I just kept them. And they just help out. I turn it on, and I flip a little switch here in the greenhouse, and I go feed the animals because they got to be fed. Life goes on. You have to realize life goes on. A lot of people get a boo-boo, and they want to sit on the couch and nurse it. Well, you got to walk in wisdom. But nursing is not going to help you mentally. Putting your hands in something that makes you feel better is helping you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and it can help you financially. I eat this, so it helps. So now you can see it's kind of turning, well, I don't know if you can see, but it's turning daylight out. It's daylight outside now. Sun hasn't come up. It won't be up for long. So I will be going back in 11 weeks. I don't know how that's going to turn out. It's a journey. It's a road I've never been down before. Never talked to anybody about it. Don't know. As I'm sitting here thinking about it, I hope the world stays together so I can go through that journey, because I'm gonna need that part for my life. Yeah, you know, sometimes we don't like going through things, but it's the very thing that we need to go through. Or we don't like going through this, but then the road ahead of us is the very thing that we need to go through, even though we don't want to go through it. Stay encouraged. Help one another. Don't be going, you know, this is the thing that gets me the most. I have to say this for men. They will help you if they think they're going to get somewhere with you. I'm a country girl, okay? Country is who I am. It's in me. And I'm not like most women. So you know, being by myself is not a thing. I'm not, you know, I stay busy. And I don't, you know, if you stay busy, you're not going to go, woe is me, being lonely and stuff. But country is, stop, Angel, stop. Country is who I am. And I think that's what gets me the most, that I'm like, where is the real men anymore? You know, where is the real people? Where is people that they will help you just because you need help and they see you struggling? What has happened to our country? That people, if I can get somewhere with you, I'll help you. The devil is a liar. But where is our character? What has happened to us in America? That we got to wait for a tragedy to happen? A bad tragedy to help people? I mean, I clap for the mountain people. I clap for the hillbillies. I clap for the country people. Because they know how to come together and help one another. They know how to come together and put their hand to the plow. They know how. They got character. They're the true blood, bred in them. Okay, I'm getting worked up because I'm not going to say that. Microwave generation, wake up. Wake up, America. Wake up. Make sure you're equally yoked. Pray about things where you get with somebody. Sit still. Don't get emotionally involved. Sit back and watch. Test the waters. Test the spirits. Honey, I do a lot of testing. And I do my testing. I don't even know I'm testing. And I'm like, okay, I know the motivation of your heart. Out. You know, because people tell on themselves. They tell on themselves. All you got to do is be still, sit back, be who you are, and test those waters. The Bible says test those spirits. There's a lot of spirits that people's got inside them, or the spirit of that person, or the character of that person, and you'll find out. You know, I made mistakes in my past, and maybe that's why I learned this. I don't get emotionally involved, you know, because you get emotionally involved, especially if you get into sexual sin, you can't see anymore. You can't see. So, don't be ugly yoke. Just because somebody says they're country, don't mean they're country. You go out there just hunt, that ain't country. That's just a hobby. And country is what you do. Thanks guys for watching. Just want to give you a quick update. I've had other videos, I hadn't felt like getting them out. But this video has gone longer, but you know, for 2 years of dealing with something or other, this is a short period of time. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you want to give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs up. Anyways, I'll be around and see you on to the next video.